All right, and here we are. We're live.
We are live, aren't we?
Yes. So let's just keep it really informal today, you guys. If you're here on my feed, my good friend Mr. Joe Garcia is someone that anytime, even if I can get 2 seconds of his time, is so invaluable because he is just busy, busy, busy out there building a business that's global. I'm surprised he even has time, right, to be here because he's got thousands, if not tens of hundreds of thousands of individuals whose lives he's impacted in the past, he's impacting today. And so please help me to welcome my amazing, amazing friend, coach, mentor for probably 3 decades now, Mr. Joey Garcia.
Hey, Gordon, I'll do anything for you. You know that. So
Thank
my
you.
time is your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
And by the way, I've stolen a lot of your stuff over the years. So and now you're stealing my stuff. So that's good.
I know, like this morning, what I thought, oh my goodness, why didn't I do that when I was on stage? So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go over to Joe Garcia's post this morning and watch him on stage and what he did. I'm going to boil that one, and I hope it doesn't backfire on me because it worked for me like a charm.
Well, the story is true.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and you
said, I found over the years, Gordon, the key to helping people make a decision is. Are you still there?
Here, I just wanted the audience to see you as you're sharing.
Yeah. The key to move people along, the key to bond with people, the key to getting them to do what you want them to do is share stories. And particularly in any presentation that you're doing, stories do sell. So that particular story, I was sharing on that video. Right? Yeah, that story I was sharing on the video. I was back in Hong Kong and I was giving awards out, iPads and iPhones. And it happened to be, I picked a woman. She qualified for that iPad and she was so excited. I saw her in the far back of the room. And it was a VIP dinner. So the stage is about maybe 1 foot high at most, maybe 18 inches. And I'm seeing her from a distance where she's jumping up, down, really excited, and she's running towards the stage. And I thought to myself, oh my God, she's not slowing down. Like she's, if everyone's watched The Price is Right, for example, and they won the big deal.
It's like,
you put over the top for this iPad. And she's about now a couple of feet from the stage. And I'm thinking, she's not slowing down. So as she jumped the stage, I took a step backwards and she jumped right into my arms and we flew through to the other end of the stage, right through the barricades, just basically body slammed me, So anyway, the people that were there and knew the story, it was really funny. No one got hurt.
That's funny. Joe, I'm surprised of the amount of time you travel, the amount of countries you travel, the tens of thousands in an audience for friends of mine who don't know that maybe you did. Maybe you had secret bodyguards. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Yes, I have had bodyguards in the past, yes.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
In some locations, you need them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a blessed life. Blessed life. And the thing is, Gordon, you knew me when I got started.
Yes.
And my worst nightmare, my worst fear was speaking in front of people.
Wow. Speaking in front of people.
Speaking in front of me, whether it was
you wouldn't know that today. You wouldn't know that today.
Whether it was a small group of 6 to a bigger group, I was just horrified. And it goes back, not going to get into why, but it really goes back to my younger years and some bad experiences in public speaking. It's amazing how those things anchor you into adulthood. I remember in 1996, I was doing a meeting in Buffalo. It was the first time that anyone recorded me on. and she sent me a videotape of my presentation, and I absolutely was horrified.
Wow.
I watched the first minute of that, and since then I haven't watched any of that video.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's like Nightmare on Elm Street almost.
Yes, that's what I felt.
So let me ask you this: that experience. I mean, you went from that experience to you will step on a stage in a place like Macau with 10,000 people effortlessly. So if somebody's watching today and they're thinking, "Well, Joe, I'm like that. I'm like when you first started, where I was even scared of my own shadow." What would you say to someone like that right now, Joe?
Well, when it comes to fears, there's a reason why you're fearful. And so usually I was able to become aware of why I was feeling like that. And that had to do with the high school experience. And it didn't turn out that well. So that was such an emotional experience for me as I was going into business. No wonder that became my number one fear, because I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to, hurt my brand. And plus, the people I looked up to, my mentors back then, were really good on stage. They were just top 1%. So first step is I became aware of why I was feeling like that. Number two, I knew in order to beat any fear, Gordon, what do? You have to go and do it.
Wow. You got to face it, right? Face the fear. And what's the name of the book? Face the fear and do it anyway.
Just do it anyways. And that's what I did over the years. I just continued to do it and do it and do it. And it became easier and easier and easier. Still, what happens is, though, that teenage Joe Garcia still comes up sometimes. And I know why it's coming up, so, but I just continue to do it because my dreams were always greater than my fears. Wow. And I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to evolve into that person, and just doing it and doing it and doing it.
Love it. Your dreams were greater than your fears. Now, let me be the devil's advocate here for a minute, because you are one of the most successful individuals that I know in the direct sales industry. And there are people who say direct sales doesn't work. And funny, I'm not going to say the name, but a friend of mine who you would know so well. He went from foster homes to foster home. He was in prison as a teenager, and he became a mechanic. Car fell on top of him. He couldn't work. And then he went on to make over $48 million in the network marketing industry, more today. And he had a t-shirt on today, and it's got like a person on the top, and then more people and more people and more people. And it's got a finger pointing like this, and the t-shirt says, this is me, the guy at the top. Right?
Nice.
What a beautiful t-shirt. So, there are some people that says, man, this industry doesn't work. Or maybe, Mr. Garcia got started in the right time. And today you can't make money in that industry anymore. What would you say to somebody like that?
Well, the facts don't support it. So you can have, I always say the best leaders in life are the ones that lead by example. They're, instead of leading with their mouth, they're leading with their feet. Wow. So when you look at from a business point of view, or from a business point of view, you got to look at results, and the facts don't support that, Gordon. The network marketing direct sales industry does more business than all the major sports leagues in the world put together.
That's incredible.
It does more than the Premier League in soccer in England,
in Europe, in England. Yes.
The NFL, which is a monster.
Yes.
The
MLB,
NFL, the NBA, and
yes,
Major League Baseball. Putting all those 5 leagues together, network marketing direct sales still does more business.
That is absolutely incredible.
So facts speak for themselves. Every opportunity, though, when it involves people, always goes through 3 phases. As you know, the German philosopher Schopenhauer, he talks about the first one, it's ridiculed. The second one, it starts to become, it's still in the laughable stage. It starts to reveal itself, but not yet there. And then the third stage is when it's revealed. And that's when it, usually for any opportunity or stock or investment, is usually when the masses get in, or usually it's too late.
Those three phases came. First, you're ridiculed.
Yes.
The second one was
starting to be semi-revealed, but not yet.
okay.
There's some traction going. And the third one is when it becomes revealed.
When it becomes revealed. And the fourth one is when they say you're lucky.
Yes.
It's crazy, right? Like I remember a couple of years ago, and you're just quietly, other people are like, hey, look at me. And I remember you were just quietly, and I know you did it not for Joe, you did it for the folks in your organization that are thinking, wait a minute, if I can do it, right, you can do it as well. I remember there was a magazine that showcased you guys as the #1 fastest growing publicly traded company in the world 2 years in a row. And I was looking at that magazine, I'm thinking, it's hard enough to build in the direct sales network marketing industry. And when you're a publicly traded company, you're under a microscope. You can't make a mistake, right? Because you're under, and yet you guys were the fastest growing. And I think the year before that, correct me if I'm right or wrong, Joe, you guys were #2. And Facebook, like we're on Facebook right now. Thank you, Facebook, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here right now either, right? And Facebook was #3 on that list. Right? You guys were like an unbelievable company.
Yeah, it's not my company, but we're unbelievable. Yeah, it's an incredible ride. Gordon, when you surround yourself with great people, great things happen. When you have dreams that people fall in love with,
yes,
that becomes the outlier. That becomes you become unstoppable. And I know a number of years ago, you had this dream for Landed for Success, this brand that you developed.
Yes.
And now you're in your 4th book. Is it your 4th?
Well, for Landed for Success, we've done many other books, and that's why you're thinking of 4. Yes. So we did the first book this is the first book.
Correct.
Landed for Success had 18 authors. So today we're actually launching
my library. Yes.
Today we're launching the second book, From Burnout to Victory.
Burnout to Victory. Incredible. I've seen some great reviews online with the book. I think you're now in the top 8 in the United States.
Yes.
And #1 in Canada. So congratulations to all of you.
Just like the women's hockey team, right? Goal #1.
Well, that brings us to how we started, where I talk about stories and how everyone loves a story that makes them smile, makes them laugh. If you see that clip of me, I'm in Hong Kong,
yes.
I have thousands of people there from China and Hong Kong. And even with a translator, one of the rules of thumb is you don't tell jokes when you have a translator on, especially it's because it never gets translated properly. So that day, that story, everyone just got it. They laughed and laughed and laughed, and that set up that whole day just perfectly. Everyone's was intended. It just opens the minds of people like a parachute. And that's what your books do. These stories give people hope. These stories give people, yes, I can do that. These stories, because without hope, without a dream, nothing happens.
Yes.
So congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, Joe.
Book. I'm looking forward to getting mine. And the first one, if it's anything like the first one you had, this is going to be another incredible legacy that you're doing here for these people.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. And the second one is, some of the same authors have come back. We got some new authors. Joe, one of the authors I love, especially, you and I have such a passionate love for direct sales. Pamela Geiger was in the first book. She's in the second book. Nice. And I'm not going to share her second story, but the first story, her ex walked out on her, left her with 2 little girls, took the home, took the business they had together, and she had $110 in her pocket. That was it. She was
Wow.
homeless. And I remember when someone had introduced me to her to talk about Landing for Success, and being you and I, network marketers at heart, we know how important stories are. And she said, I got it. I want to share my story with all these other folks that are sharing theirs. She said, here's my challenge. I'm going to have to come back to you in 2 weeks, because this month, you guys ready for this? Especially for those of you, if somebody says to you, direct sales doesn't work, it's like the people who say money's not important. So last time I checked, my friend Joe taught me that the only people who complain about money are usually people who don't have any. And the people who complain that direct sales doesn't work are maybe people who have not figured out how to make it work. So here's what Pamela said to me. She said, Gordon, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to come back, because this is the first month that I made a 5-figure month in my business. And sure enough to her word, because remember, Joe, you and I have some mentors who taught us that commitment is doing the thing you said you would do long after the mood in which you have said it has left you, right? So the day she says she would, she sent in her agreement, she sent in her payment to be an author, she wrote her story, and now she's sharing her story in her second book. And that's what I love, is like her story, I know, has helped. So, my friend Larry Daniels, who's a certified Napoleon Hill instructor, is constantly bragging about her story. Right? He would say that I see myself in that story. And that's what it's all about, right? Like, if our story, you've touched the lives of millions. Right? If we can just, if our story can just help one person, we'd be doing the Super Bowl happy dance, or the dance that you did on stage.
Yes, I love the dance. Not very good, but I love the dance. Congratulations. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Have an awesome day, everyone. God bless, and much success to you, Gordon.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.